Good evening, everybody. Thank you for sticking with me up until this moment in time. And after a short hiatus, let's continue and let's get right back into it. The 16th Mishnah, according to some, in the third parak. Rabbi Shmuel says, "Havikal lerash." Be easy or submissive to a leader. ונוח לתשחרת. And kindly and pleasing to the young. מקבל האדם בשמחה. And make sure that you receive all men happily. Some translated, be yielding to a superior, pleasant to the young, and of course, receive everyone cheerfully, with happiness. There are a lot of interpretations, but before we get into those interpretations of this particular Mishnah, Mizer hoya Rabbi Yishmael. Who was Rabbi Yishmael? Rabbi Yishmael ben Elisha. We learn about him in the Gemara in Brachos. The Gemara in Brachos tells us that famous song, Tanya. Omar Rabbi Yishmael ben Elisha. Pamachas nichnasti להקטיר כתוירס לפני ולפנים וראיסי הקסליקר כהשם צבוקוס ויושב על כיסא רם וניסה. Rabbi Yishmael, this famed man, he saw the chariot of fire of God. He saw God sitting on his throne. He's also one of the 10 martyrs that we talk about. And we discuss his tragic demise and death at the hands of the Romans. And he's quoted and cited untold number of times throughout Shas. He is the head of the yeshiva called Bey de Rabbi Yishmael, the Beis Medrash of Rabbi Yishmael, and he's also within his Beis Medrash the authors of the Mechilta. With that in mind, let's learn a little bit of what Rabbi Yishmael in Avos is remembered for. He says, "Havikal lerash." So according to some, the interpretation means be swift, be easy. When you meet a rosh, when you meet a leader, meaning be quick to attach yourself to somebody who's a Talmid Chacham and a Manik b'Yisrael, l'dov kabar, and attach yourself to them. But on the other hand, noach l'tishchores, it comes from the word shachor, meaning black. And when it comes to the young, those still with black hair and no graying in the beard, be easy and kind with them. Or Noach, take it easy with the young. Don't be so quick to get hooked or attached to the young and really the inexperienced. According to Pirkei Avot, the dictum means don't refrain from opposing a leader. How so? Why is this? What's this got to do with anything? Havikal lerash. Oh, you got to be easy with the leaders. Don't refrain from opposing a leader. You see, Rabbi Yishmael was in the Beis Medrash at another time. Another story from the Gemara in Brachos. You see, when Rabbi Gamliel embarrassed Rabbi Yoshua, Rabbi Yishmael was part of the Sanhedrin, who led the putsch to oust Rabbi Gamliel, to replace him originally with Rabbi Yeshua, but in the end they settled on Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. So let's look at the Mishnah from the perspective of the deposing of Rabbi Gamliel and the ascension of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Havikal lerash, don't refrain from opposing a leader. ונוח לתשחרת, and be kindly with the young. Who was Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah and who was Rabbi Gamliel? Rabbi Gamliel was the old man, the head of the Rosh Yeshiva. He was the head of the Sanhedrin, the Av Bezdin. And who was Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah? He was 17 years old. Don't refrain from opposing a leader when they're wrong. And make sure that sometimes even the young, they can be a leader too. Makabel is called האדם בשמחה. and make sure that you receive everybody cheerfully and with happiness. My friends, Tennyson once wrote, "If I make dark my countenance, I shut my life, and I'd like to say my light from happier chance." Notice the words, "Heavy kal lerash," be easy, lerash, with this root, and the shorish possibly being eish, fire, which means light. And what is the opposite of light? The absence of luminescence, black and darkness. The absence of light is black. Lisis chores, from the word shachor. And what happens if you promote the light and you push away the darkness? Then you'll have a life of simcha. Now, Rav Moshe El-Shachar, the student of Shmuel of Valencia, who lived from 1462 to 1542 in Spain, he was also expelled from Spain in 1492, and as a young man found himself on a boat traveling to Tunisia, which was overcome by pirates, and he escaped, and he eventually led, and he became the head and the Rosh Yeshiva and the chief rabbi in Greece. Now, Reb Shmuel of Valencia and Reb Moshe El-Shachar, meaning the student of Reb Shmuel of Valencia, he had a chavrusa, another famous man, Rav Yaakov ben Habib, which is the author of the Ein Yaakov. But coming back to our Reb Moshe El-Shachar, he says something very insightful to our Mishnah. He says, Havikal Lerosh is really an acronym. Lerosh means la'asos, lamed, ratzon, reish, to perform the will of Avicha, our Father who art in heaven, Sheba Shamayim. Lamed, reish, aleph, shin, la'asos, ratzon, Avicha, Sheba Shamayim. Havikal Lerosh, be easy to perform the will of God always. Old and young, a sharp dichotomy if ever there was one. So I'd like to suggest the following. Moshe Rabbeinu comes before Pharaoh with his brother Aaron, and he dictates the following to Pharaoh. Shalach ami v'ya'avduni, send out my nation so that they may serve me. This is the message that Moshe Rabbeinu delivers from the word of God. Shalach ami v'ya'avduni. What is Pharaoh's response? Mi v'holchem. Who and who are going? And what does Moshe Rabbeinu say? Binureinu u'zkeneinu nelech. I'm going to go out with the young and the old. You see, we don't necessarily need to read the Mishnah as two opposing forces of Havikal Lerosh ונוח לתשחרת. They're both on a certain level the same interpretation. Havikal Lerosh, be easy with the elders, ונוח לתשחרת, and be kind with the young. But let's continue our little story with Moshe Rabbeinu and the interplay between Moshe Rabbeinu and Paro. Again, Shalach ami v'ya'avduni, Moshe Rabbeinu says, is the messenger of God. And Paro responds, Mi v'holchem. Who's going? And Moshe Rabbeinu responds and retorts, Binureinu u'zkeneinu nelech. I'm going to go out with the young and I'm going to go out the old. What was Paro's taina, I say? What was Paro saying, Mi v'holchem? You mean he didn't know? Of course he knew. See, Paro, he was a smart aleck. He really knew his stuff. You see, Paro was recalling Moshe Rabbeinu's first encounter with God. And at that encounter by the snare, by the burning bush, Moshe Rabbeinu, when he's given the mission to go before Paro, he says, Mi anochi elecha Paro. Who am I to go to Paro? And what does Paro himself say after some of the makas descend upon him? Rabbi say, Mi Hashem asher eshma b'kolo. Who's God that I'm going to go listen to him? So from the one side, Paro, Ani Oimer, Lefi Ani Daiti is Moshe Rabbeinu. You yourself didn't know who God was. Mi Anochi. Who is God that I should go before Paro? Mi Anochi. Not who am I, but Mi Anochi. Who is God? Is one interpretation. And yet, comes along Paro and he says, I took a play out of your book, Moshe Rabbeinu. Mi Hashem Ashma B'Koilo. Who's God that I should listen to his voice? Comes along the Medrash and tells us, the mi ha'orchim is going on. Mi ha'aleva ha'Hashem mi yakum b'mkom kadsho. The double terminology of me. Who is going to go up to the mountain of God and who is going to remain there? With our children and our elders, the ganze Klal Yisrael is going to go up to the mountain. Rabbi say, when Moshe Rabbeinu asks Hashem, Mi anoichi eleich el Paro, who am I to go to Paro? Really, the translation, the interpretation should be Mi anochi. Who is this Anochi, the God who speaks in the name of Anochi to go to Paro? And what does the Ribono Shel Olam answer? Ki Anochi shalachticha behotziacha, because I, Anochi, sent you to extract Klal Yisrael es ha'am mitzrayim ta'avdum, from the Shalach Ami li'avduni es hu Elokim el hahar hazeh, in order to serve God on the mountain. Mi ya'aleh b'har Hashem u'mi yakum b'mkom kadsho ivdu es Hashem b'simcha bo lefanav rinana lefanav birnana. Good night, my friends.